Weganoagerono, and welcome to another episode of Straight Talk. I'm Michael Stock Sr.
I'm Jessica Deere.
I'm Ross Montour.
And I'm Christine Taylor, and what we're going to introduce right off the bat is the fact that we don't have Billy Rivers in with us this week, but we want to let people know that it's the fourth seat, which Jessica is in today, is going to be a sort of a rotating seat. So we're going to have different people in from different age groups and hopefully different backgrounds to be able to add spice to our conversations that we're going to have today. So welcome, and welcome Jessica.
It's good to have somebody, I guess, younger than 25, since I think we're a little older than 25.
We're approaching old, not present.
But we get it'll give us a different, I guess, perspective and a view on things from being in a younger generation. Mm-hmm. But if there's anybody out there that would like to come on the show periodically and sit there, give us a call or email us, and all that information will be at the end. And you're welcome to come into and discuss some of the issues, especially, we have a lot of people in the community that aren't satisfied or aren't happy with some of the situations that are going on politically and otherwise in the community. And this is the forum to do that.
Mm-hmm. Different perspectives breeds like a lot more discussion, I think. And I think it's important that we try to represent as many of the different people that we have in our community.
Last night on Reality Check, had a guest, Jeffrey Dybel, for instance, and we don't see eye to eye on everything in terms of the topics we were discussing, like ILCC being changed and so on, that whole process. But the one thing we did agree on is that there's a need in the community to have people from different sectors of the community to be able to come into a forum and have open, respectful discussions that don't all come from one perspective.
Not all from council or not all from
but the other thing too is to kind of up the ante in terms of the level of discussion. You take any single topic that it's out there, is a hot button topic in the community, be that membership, be that the seniority, whatever. One of the things that I personally feel is very lacking is there isn't enough information available, and people aren't talking about. You don't talk about the history of certain pieces of legislation, for instance. And so everybody's talking from places that are, number one, they're not based on in terms of reality, in terms of what actual history is. And so they're not making informed decisions. I think that's one of the issues for me with this community decision-making process, as I've witnessed, is that people just are not informed. You can't go in and have a discussion about something every 10 years, but you're not informed, and nobody's taking responsibility for that. One of the things I think is to encourage with Straight Talk is to have people come here, and they don't have to be attached to any specific organization. Or be like people involved in the media. Yeah, why not? Yeah, we want somebody who has an idea, an opinion to come on and share what that is in a discussion.
And we want community members to come on and to voice their opinion and to discuss some of the issues that are there. And that's the type of, I guess, individuals that we encourage actually to come onto the show. You don't have to have a background in anything. Just being a community member and you're pissed off about something, then come here and let's discuss why you're pissed off and
hopefully bring together some people that can give you some answers.
Yeah, so I mean, and that's the whole idea. I mean, we don't want to be always negative, but there are some things that are questionable on the way they're done, and we're not here to say what's right or what's wrong. I mean, I'm not anyway. I just want the community to know two sides of things and not always one side. And
I have a tendency of doing that, playing devil's advocate too, when having discussions, even on personal matters, even trying to bring a different perspective and trying to bring up those questions. Because if I'm asking those questions, then you can be guaranteed that there's 50, 60 other people out there that are asking those same questions. They might not have all the background as well. So it's up to me as a community member or as even just a member of this panel to bring up those questions and be playing devil's advocate. Sometimes we just have to look look at it from a different angle, and things change.
And Jessica, your article in the Eastern Door, but you question a lot of issues, don't you?
Yeah, sometimes people just, like, I don't know.
You know, sometimes you know what it is sometimes when I was always on Facebook, you know, that's something else. And I read some of the banter that was going back and forth on some of the individual sites, and some people liked some of the things that you wrote. It was, you know, and it was always questioning something. But that's the good thing about it. How much feedback do you get from that article, though? This ain't an interview, but I just asked.
Every so now and then, like, I get a lot of positive feedback, and I also get a lot of, well, I wouldn't say a lot, but I do get negative feedback every now and then. But I just think of it as, well, they're talking about my column, and if it's negative feedback, they read that, whatever opinion I had on whatever subject, and I'm getting people to talk about it.
Because even myself, you know, when I'm looking at anything or reading it, I'm always looking at it at an older set of eyes. And sometimes even my wife has to bring me back a few years and say, well, today people don't look at it like that or consider that, and how.
But it's also important to have and listen to other people's experiences, and that's where you might not necessarily. I don't think of you as an elder, but I mean, but you do have you know, experiences where, you know, if you share them, then, you know, maybe the younger people could get something out of it, and maybe it's not as relevant as we would hope that it would be, but
there are some things that are upcoming that I didn't actually know about. Just to get off that a bit, was the new ILCC.
The ILCC, which was the Interim Legislative Coordinating Committee, has now been officially changed at the Mohawk Council table to be the LCC, which is the Legislative Coordinating Commission. So it is now a commission, okay, which to my mind, and we talked about this last night, this implies there's going to be commissioners, okay? And of course, well, the commissioners will oversee moving forward the legislative agenda.
I'm a commissioner for taking oath.
Well, that's a different. No, but you know, that's an interesting statement because one of the big questions is exactly what does that mean? But nobody has defined thus far, and for that matter, it was brought to my attention that even when it was the interim, there were no terms of reference that were spelt out in terms of length of mandate, what the mandate per se was, except, I don't know. I think that was, in all fairness, the mandate was kind of obvious. They wanted to move in this direction. But in terms of the new thing, the decision to say, well, this is it now, that's what it is, and that's where we're going, and that's how we're going, has been made. But we don't know what the terms of reference is.
But who made the decision?
As far as I understand.
And how was it? Shouldn't it have gone through their whole process?
Well, that's a good question.
What did you think?
Well,
you know, like, yeah.
Well,
but I never heard of it.
It was never in the hopper.
Right. No, I knew what was going. I knew what was going on, and I knew that, you know, they were trying different things out and whatnot. But like I said, I didn't know that anything got ratified or how or where or, you know.
We decide to tell you what we're going to decide. And at the end of the day, we'll tell you how that works.